Okay, here this morning with Hank McGregor, 8-time world marathon champion, actually 9 if you would count the world junior title he won, and 3-time Molokai winner. He's aiming to close in on the, I think the record of Grant Kenny is 4 times Molokai winner. I'm not sure that's the main thing you focus on, but yeah, certainly out here to have a crack again this year. How are you fit and ready?
Yeah, thanks for the interview. I guess we all think we're fit enough, but for some reason the channel always is tougher than what we think. And when you cross that finish line, you're all pretty much spent. So yeah, hopefully I'm fit enough and can contest with the big guns up in the front.
Great. So in terms of conditions, we all know you can paddle on the flat water. But what would be your ideal conditions, you think?
I think if I had to choose the conditions, I'd say around about 14 knots to 15 knots, tailwind, sunshine, not too big a swell, just really like a real enjoyable paddle, pretty much like how we do the Molokai runs in the afternoons, just something like that, you know, nothing overboard, and I think that would be my ultimate conditions. I think when it's really big, you can't see your opposition that well, and you know, your escort boats and stuff like that gets a bit messy, and when it's really flat, it's just a long slog, and it's cooking out there. So for me, if I had to choose, yeah, about 15 knots dead behind me would be a great paddle. Great.
Now you've done obviously how many Molokais have you done?
I've done six Molokais. Yeah.
Okay, so you're on a 50% strike rate, which is pretty damn good.
Yeah, I've had two seconds and 1 third and 3 wins. So yeah, I've always been there and thereabouts. The first Molokai I did, we actually finished here at Outrigger, and I think that was 68 k's, and that I ran out of juice about 2 hours from the finish, and I'll never forget that race. But yeah, look, Molokai, it's a unique race. It's one of the ultra distance ones, and I think every paddler out there should, if you can, come over and just try a hand once.
Definitely. Now there seems to be a really good rivalry between yourself and Corey and Jasper and Sean, and throw in Clint and a few other guys. There seems to be a pretty good rivalry up the top there.
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone that's a racer would love to win, and I guess everybody else is out there to contest for it. So for me, I got huge respect for the guys I race against. If you don't have those guys, then it's not a real point in winning the race. So I look up to them, and obviously I'd love to be up there, but you never know what the channel can do to you. And you know, the iconic guys like Oscar and Clint that have been around, and Dean for forever, you know, it's great to line up next to them, and they're still competitive, and you know, anything can happen. Like I say, if it's a big screaming downwind, you know, those are the guys that they've got the knowledge, and they've crossed the channel so many times. So, you know, but the younger guys that are hungry for the win, and you know, Corey's been going really well. Sean Rice is an awesome athlete. Jasper's always, you know, I know him really well, and he's a tough guy to beat on any day. So, you know, I think those are the guys that are going to be up there. And then you've got the locals like Pat Dolan. I mean, he's one with the ocean, especially out here, and if there's a bump, he'll find it. So yeah, I think it's an open race, and anybody can really that really has done the training and really wants to win, I think they've got a chance.
Yeah. Great, and you know, obviously the more you race, the more sometimes you get bad breaks and unlucky breaks, and sometimes you get lucky breaks. I had a good chat to Corey yesterday about last year's race, and
yeah, sure.
You know, it would have been, I guess your eyes would have lit up when you saw Corey all of a sudden.
Yeah, look, for sure. I actually felt sorry for him when I actually paddled past. I was like, sorry, mate, you know, and I know how it feels. You know, I've been leading the Molokai before. You come around the corner, and you know, everyone says you got to catch a wave off China Wall, and you know, it can cost you, and it cost him, you know, and that's the thing about racing. I remember before, not trying to catch a wave, going wide, and Clint being Clint who he is, he could pick up anything, and you know, I had a real big lead, and the next one I look behind, the guy's only like 100 meters behind me, and you know, we've still got a K to go, and So I think, in the back of your mind, you want to catch a wave, but you also don't. And at the same time, you don't want your opposition to catch one. So you're under pressure, and I felt for him. And unfortunately, it paid off for me. But I'm sure if he hadn't have broken his rudder or anything like that, I'm sure he had enough of a gap to take the win. And unless something else happened, but for me, I think this year it's going to be a tough race, and I hope it doesn't end up just because of a rudder issue or breaking a boat over the reef at the finish. Let the best man win.
Yeah. Nevertheless, that seems to be a part of the race. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you seem to be a part of a group of. I mean, we know South Africa seems to be very, very strong in the sport. With yourself and Sean and Jasper and David Mocky and there's a bunch of other guys from South Africa. What do you think it is about South African paddling that makes them so strong?
I think we're just competitive. Our nature is, we all just real deep down. We love to win and we love to fight for it. It's just like maybe it's part of our culture. And I think our biggest rival has always been like the Australians, because I think we're so similar. We just talk a little different, but out there, when the gun goes off, we're all just as competitive as one another, and I think we've got a mutual respect for the races out there. So I think back home, I think paddling's a big sport with regards to surf ski paddling, and obviously the coastline that we have, and so I think just having good paddlers out there in the past, that's obviously built up the standard, and I think it just kept going.
Great. Now, a lot of people, and I've had a good look at it, have watched the video or the documentary on you and when you sailed across the Atlantic with your dad, and that sounded like a great training camp for you. Do you think that was a part of your, where you are now?
Yeah, look, I spent many a mile out crossing the Atlantic, and my father and my mom, they asked me, if I want to stay another year in school or do correspondence and cross the Atlantic and go to the Caribbean and head our way all the way to the States. And I couldn't really think of sitting in a classroom while my parents were crossing the Atlantic, and so I went for it, and it was one of the, I'd say, best experiences of my life as a youngster, and having my 17th birthday about 2,000 miles from anywhere. And I guess I spent enough time on a surf ski catching runs as I crossed there, and every day I paddled, because at that stage we didn't really have social media, if you want to put it that way, to just jump online or do something like that. So I just used to jump off every day and paddle for a couple of hours. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Great. I once had an experience where I had an ocean crossing on a yacht, and we were on the yacht for it was not that long, it was only 5 days, but I just stood on the deck of the boat and just wished I had a surf ski, just watching the runs, and then to watch you in that documentary, it's like, just a lot of envy. 100%. Seemed like a great experience.
No, for sure. We followed the trades, and I mean, it's sunshine and just catching runners, and it's just pretty surreal.
Great. So your expectations for this race, or do you put a lot of pressure on yourself, or you just try and go out and stay in the moment? What's your sort of race tactics?
For me, every race is a different race, and I've raced quite a few races now in my life, and I don't get nervous anymore, which is it's pretty sad. I used to really get worked up, so you don't feel the first couple of kilometers because you're so pumped. Nowadays I feel everything, I think that the difference with this race and a normal surf ski race is most of the races around the globe you're racing the competitors. This race is unique. You're racing the channel. It's a race within a race. So for me, I've got to obviously watch my opposition, but at the end of the day, I've got to watch what the channel's doing. The wind could change. You got to watch the currents, and if you don't respect it, you're going to really hurt at the end. So for me, it's a different race, and I'm going to try and enjoy it no matter what the result.
Okay, great. Thanks for your time, Hank, and good luck in the race tomorrow.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.